So we're going to talk about the aeRos basics and how to set up a project. But in order to do that, you have to first access your aeRos account. And as you can see on the screen, this is the link. Once you log in, then what you'll notice is you're going to need to create a project. You'll see a plus button on the right-hand side about half the way down. Once you hit the plus button, you're going to name your project. Once you hit OK, you'll see that the project now comes up. Once that project comes up, you have to determine now what type of test you're going to do. Are you going to be in the single mode testing, or are you going to be in the multi-mode? Once you determine that, and let's use an example as single mode, you'll notice there's a couple ways of setting up a fiber group within that project. One of the ways is by picking one of the color icons to your left. So in this particular example, we'll use single mode, which is SMF, all the way to the left. Once you pick that, you're going to name your fiber group a particular name. As you scroll down, you'll pick the amount of fibers that you're going to test. That could be anywhere from 1 to 144 or more. You could start at a different number. You could start at 10 and go to 24. So the flexibility of picking wherever you want to start or the amount of fiber is there. The next thing you'll need to do is, after you pick the amount of fibers, is you're going to have to put some criteria of both ends. So as an example, if you're starting in a central office, you might want to put that central office particular code. If you're starting in an MDF, you might put the code of the rack and then also the port and then the fiber number in there, the cable ID. The next thing is you're going to pick the type of connector that you want to put in there, or what you're testing. And then last but certainly not least is going to be whether you're going through a bulkhead or if you're doing patch cord. And then you'll have to do it for the second end. Once you do that, you add that, and then that becomes a fiber group that then is underneath the project. Of that fiber group, as we mentioned, in this particular case, it's single mode. Perhaps we want to test 40 gig, and we understand what the 40 gig criteria is. You're going to go up to about a third of the way down on the page on the right-hand side, and you'll see test setups. You're going to hit the plus button. In there, you're going to need to know some information about 40 gig. What is some of the threshold information? Perhaps it's a TIA 568C for Charlie standard. If it is, then you'll just scroll down and you'll pick the TIA 568C. Perhaps it's the in and out, or perhaps it's the out. You'll pick that criteria, and then you'll add additional information into it, such as you're going to use a 2-jumper method and a bidirectional. Once you add that to it, you'll have a test setup icon that's within the test setup box. The next thing you'll need to do is again hit the plus, and then underneath the single mode you'll see inspection criteria. The inspection criteria is there so that it can identify the end-face connection and if it's worthy to be able to pass the type of data that is going to be on there. In order to do that, you'll need to, once you hit the plus and you hit inspection, then what you're going to do under the single mode, then you're going to pick both ends, because you do want to inspect both ends. And then you need to understand the IEC method of standardization, and that is for single mode, you probably would want it at the 45, which is the top end, the IEC single mode 45, and you'll see that at the top end as we have picked it here. Once you choose that and hit OK, then that icon will show up under the test setups. Now, in order to pull both of those icons, which is one is the test and the other is the inspection criteria, down to that particular fiber group, click on the fiber group. You'll notice it turns from somewhat of a blank canvas of white to blue, and then go back up and pick on those blue tabs. As you notice, if you have any multi-mode up there, but you're on a single mode fiber group, it turns all those to gray, meaning that you can't pick a wrong test setup and apply it. So only the test setups that would be single mode would be available. So then you scroll down and you pick the 40 gig and tap on that icon, and that will drop it into the fiber group. Then you pick the inspection criteria icon, that will drop it right next to it. Next is about a third of the way down on the left-hand side, you'll see where it says fiber group and a few other things is project team. You're going to have to assign people to this particular project and to this fiber group. In order to do that, you hit project teams, and then you'll have the org admin, and then to the right of that will be a plus button. You hit the plus button, and what you'll do is add those that you want to either be part of the project, either working and or just viewing it. And once you do that and you see their names, such as Technician 1 in this particular case, you have 3 ways of adding them. As a read-only, where they can only see it. As a technician, where only that particular job will come to them. Or as a supervisor, where that supervisor can see multiple jobs at the same time. They're able to see project updates real time, as opposed to waiting to the end of the day or halfway through the day to get an update. They're getting it real time. Once you highlight those and hit add, then that drops those people to that particular fiber group of that specific project. Now that will be sent to the tablets once you log into the tablets. That feature there will be able to send a work order to those supervisors and or technicians so that they know that they are queued to do that particular work at that given time.